We see various floating souls that look like white luminous energy clouds being pulled in one direction, leaving comet-like trails. Various sized pieces of these souls are intermittently torn apart, then pulled into the darkness until nothing remains. A larger soul flies across the sky of a dark and twisted incorporeal version of Haven City, and once swallowed by the darkness, the sky is lit up by a bright flash. The camera pans down and we see Ivan Bakara walking through the abyssal realm, his kunai and throwing stars bouncing off of his tool belt. Behind him, the remainder of his undead ninja clansmen, all walking with haste and purpose.
We are tempered by adversity.
We descend into the darkness of the sewers and metro tunnels of Haven, which have become home. We see Ivan crouched over, clearing a giant sprung trap, removing an entire abdomen of a lost vagabond from its jaws. Ivan then resets the sinister device, kicking it back into obscurity for the next trespasser.
They are the damned.
We see Ivan repeat this several times like clockwork until all the fruits of his labor have been retrieved from his traps set throughout. We see dozens of gators and crocodiles looming on the surface of the sewer waters, awaiting their feeding. Ivan tosses mounds of collected bodies into the water, which are viciously captured by their massive jaws and then taken below, fading deep into the waters. Ivan then stops by, possibly the largest single waterway in the sewer system, and turns to face it. Hundreds of crocodiles inhabit this water. A green incorporeal cloud that we know to be Hunter Gulsiv's soul shoots from Ivan's body into the water, and Ivan turns and walks away. We cut to the surface of the water as a huge set of crocodile eyes surface.
He is the Redeemer.
A massive beast emerges from the waterway, huge, razor-sharp spines glistening as two long tails swing into the stone walls, causing them to crumble. We see feet liberated from the warmth of a blanket hit the cold floor. A young, lean, and chiseled man walking across an incredibly lavish bedroom while rubbing his eyes and hands through his brown hair. He approaches his window, revealing an amazing view of Haven City from the top floor. The camera zooms out from the building, revealing he is within one of Atlas Corporation's renowned living complexes, standing tall within its district. Surrounding buildings pale in comparison to its prestigious aesthetic. Rezanok opens the window and thinks to himself, "The city seems so quiet from here. It's nice, almost peaceful. I know that the moment I step into that jungle, the chaos will assail me." He turns around and reaches for his sweatpants. "I will help this city get quiet by any means necessary, so that everyone will know the peace that I enjoy so much." We cut to a fully dressed Rezanok pulling down his hoodie, then flips his hood up and grabs a lanyard labeled with the giant A on it off of the table and makes his way toward the window and leaps out. Disappearing from view briefly, we see Rezanok re-emerge while gliding across the morning sky, carried by a funnel of wind summoned beneath his feet as he heads toward the gate center. We see a red-headed man with a thick red beard standing in a sparsely decorated training room performing light maintenance on a beautiful, glimmering katana laid out on the table before him. We see various pictures of shady, no-good-looking persons of interest pinned up on the wall above the table as he dribbles his eye over some of them while occasionally glancing back down at the table. He picks the katana up with one hand and tests the feel and weight of it, then turns around and faces a row of 10 practice dummies placed 6 feet apart. Jax Erlin looks up at the clock on the wall, then suddenly lunges toward the dummies, performing masterful swings, maneuvering between each dummy without a centimeter of movement wasted, landing fluid, killing strokes all within 12 seconds. Once finished, he looks back up at the clock, disappointed. Damn it! 3 seconds longer than my best. Jax begins to replace the dummies with new ones and continues his training. We see a young woman, back facing us, braiding her long hair to the side. She then begins to stretch in various poses, all with grace and perfect form. We can tell this is a common regimen for her. We then cut to her in mid-air, letting off a flurry of 4 to 5 kicks, all before hitting the ground, right into a leg sweep, then back rolling into a graceful handstand, then back onto her feet. She then plants her feet and throws 12 powerful punches, causing the dust in the floorboards to blow throughout the room as she ends her final punch with a loud shout. The camera swivels around her shoulder, revealing her face and 2 glowing eyes, one lavender and the other gold. Slightly antsy and ready for some kind of activity, Nam Kai grabs her coat and heads for the bar at Smaven's. We zoom through a deep wooded forest on the outskirts of Haven until we reach a massive waterfall that roars about, only rivaled by the ambience of lively wildlife. Cliffside, we see R-Type X in deep meditation facing the waterfall. So in tune with nature and its energies, a bird comes and lands on his shoulder, chirping about as if he were a tree himself. If one had the eye for such phenomenon, one would see the river of natural energy flowing into and out of him as R-Type X begins shifting the different energies in the surrounding environment, causing the waterfall to begin flowing backwards, then forward again, all in perfect sync with the beating of his own heart. R-Type X sits peacefully training his Senjutsu, the art of natural energy. An art with a destructive power so immense it can level the forest he sits in, or produce a wholesome energy capable of filling the forest with life and healthy overgrowth that wildlife would flourish in. R-Type X opens his eyes and takes a deep breath. It's been a while since I've really felt the planet. Nature's energy. The city is more polluted than usual. I feel drawn to help those who live there. She was here, yet I can't feel where she could have gone. R-Type looks up at the approaching light in the sky. Either I stop it myself, or I help them. I've made great strides, but I'm nowhere near my full capacity, let alone half. R-Type X looks down at his beloved sheathed sword. I can't draw you yet. Not with only what I have now. I'll have to work on fully awakening it. Still so much more to do before I can accept it. As the next collection of episodes approach, my excitement builds. I'm really looking forward to writing these, especially after seeing what all of you are getting involved with. Holy shit. I hope you're all excited for this journey as well. What you just heard was a trailer consisting of some of Gamma Haven's main and major characters who will be breathing some new life into the series. I asked them if they had anything to say out of character, and this is what they said. The player of Ivan Bakara says, "Every night, Ivan Bakara prays to R-Type X so the cultists won't get him." Rezanox says, "Shout out to the prequel players and the director. Thank you all for starting this amazing journey that we are all embarking on and letting me join in." Hey man, thank you. really, and everyone else for coming into this not really knowing what the hell it was going to be. You should hear me trying to explain this shit to people. I sound crazy. R-Type X says, my strength doesn't come from the battles I've won, but from the people who call me friend and choose to stand by my side for the next battle. That sounds like a threat. Thanks for watching Peoplz and Dragons, the interactive RPG game show. I encourage everyone to jump into our comment section to participate in the lore contests, as well as visit our Patreon page to learn what perks come with your support for our machine. Peace.